An effective technique for adding and subtracting mixed numbers with unlike denominators is to use equivalent fractions to find a common denominator. In this video, we'll use this technique to simplify mixed number expressions that involve addition and subtraction. Let's start with an example. At a tidal pool, the depth of the water changes based on the time of day. The measurements shown are the changes in depths at 3 times in one day: morning, noon, and evening. Measurements are in feet. What is the overall change in depth? To find the net change in depth, simplify this expression. 2 3/4 plus -2 1/8 plus 1/16. We rewrite the expression to get rid of the term in parentheses. Let's focus on this mixed number subtraction statement, as shown here. Separate the subtraction to deal with the whole number parts and the fraction parts separately, as shown here. The whole number parts will zero out. Also notice that this denominator is a multiple of this denominator, so we can easily find an equivalent fraction, as shown here. The result is 5/8, which accounts for this part of the overall solution. Now we combine 5/8 and 1/16. Once again, notice that one denominator is a multiple of the other denominator, making it straightforward to find a common denominator, as shown here. The result is 11/16, which is the net change in the depth. Let's look at another example. Simplify this expression. 3 1/4 minus 2 7/9 plus 1 5/16. Start with the first two terms, as shown here. Notice that with the fractional parts, 7/9 is greater than 1/4, which will involve borrowing from the whole number part. The 3 becomes a 2, and the fraction is increased by 4 in the numerator. The subtraction expression changes to this. Now we can calculate the whole number parts separately from the fractional parts, as shown here. The whole number parts cancel out, and to find a common denominator for fourths and ninths, multiply them. You can generate equivalent fractions, but since 4 and 9 don't have any common factors greater than 1, the least common denominator is their product. The common denominator is 36. Rewrite each fraction to have this as a denominator. We get this subtraction expression, which simplifies to 17/36. We take this result and add it to the third term in the original expression, as shown here. To find a common denominator for 36 and 16ths, generate multiples of each until we find a common multiple. As you can see, 144 is the common denominator. For 36, 144 is the fourth multiple. For 16, 144 is the ninth multiple. Rewrite the fractions to have 144 as the common denominator and adjust the numerators by the appropriate multiple, as shown here. We get two fractions with a common denominator, which can easily be combined. The result is 1 and 113 over 144.